Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video here today, and we're coming at you with a new Ordnance Harlowe build. So this is now one-shot Ordnance Harlowe. So you gotta use the trooper on this build. You can't really switch the class mod because you need the Ordnance cooldown if you so this is what we're using on this build. We're using the category of Revenge. So this will help us get our ordnance back really easy. So say we need to get our ordnance back. So we use that, get it back. The Throbbing Linebacker for the crystals on Bloom. And then you can also use this for Ordite enemies. Works really, really well. And then we're using the Storming Star Helix. This isn't like the best version. I would recommend looking for a version with 6 fire rate for mobbing because this is a really good gun. And then we're using this Preemptive Dark Beast for mobbing. And then for uh, the rep kit, we're using Amp and Enrage. I recommend at least getting one with Amp so you can double amp your first shot. And then we're using the Honey Bunches. We have it in all elements. The best all-rounder for all bosses is gonna be Kinetic. But if you can get yourself a fire version and some ones that are gonna actually match the element of the boss, will give you an even easier, more damage one shot. But for an all-rounder, Kinetic will be the best. And then we're using the Smart Trooper. You were going to look for 5 in Bright Future, uh, action skill Duration, critical hits with guns, restore partial restore ordnance cooldown on ordnance activation, gain gun damage, and action skill damage for Duration. And then we're using the Watch for Dinner, so we get more amp. And then you're gonna need a head ringer Torg enhancement. Recommend getting one with shotgun splash radius or gun splash radius just because of the linebacker. Because otherwise, this is the dead weight for your ordnance, other than the Torg part to it. So basically, all the stats on. If you're going to use the linebacker for take down crystals, you're going to either one gun splash radius or shotgun splash radius. So you can take shit down easier. And then we're using 2 gadget ahoy for ordnance cooldown, duration, and ordnance damage. And then we're using 2 airstrikes for more splash radius and more splash damage. And then we're using 1 god killer for damage dealt to badass images increase. And then for the skill tree, we are using 5 in momentum for critical hit damage, 5 in neutron decay, 3 in creative overflow, so you get 36% gun damage, 3 in confirmative reality, 1.5 action skill cooldown per shot, and then you're going to put 5 in excited state, and then 5 into distribution function. You're going to want to use group study and nuclear winter, and then you're going to want to put 5 points in decoherence, 5 points in Latin charge. These are the 2 new skills part of this build with the level 60 cap increase. And then we put 5 in parallel circuit with 30% gun damage. Put 5 points in bright future. So we get a 60% more fire rate, which is really nice. It actually benefits the honey bunches quite a bit. 1 in negative entropy, so we can put 3 into more critical hit damage. And then 1 in the ripple effect, for we can get enemies to whenever kill an enemy and entangle enemies nearby. And then you use 3 points in concurrence, so we get a little bit more action skill duration per entangled enemy. And then we put 5 points into splash damage. So this gives you up to 35% more splash damage. And then for the specializations, we are using bullets are scared of me. So you get a damage reduction when shields are full. And then the best defense, you get damage dealt when 30% shields are full. And then you get full spectrum arsenal if ordnance damage is 50 increases of gun damage, which is really nice. And then you were mostly using this because for the critical hit damage, you don't really need a critical hit chance on this build. Because with infinite crit, it actually works with your ordnance. So like when you're shooting your ordnance at the enemy or the boss or whatever, it's automatically all hitting crits. Automatically crits. Automatically crits, and see when you say you need your ordnance back, you use this, and you get your ordnance back. and you immediately can use your ordnance again. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.